how to add adjustments or colour effects to Photoshop images. There's 3 ways. You can do them in different combinations as well, so there's more than 3 in that sense. PC or Mac. Let's go to the first one. Got this image selected. Go to Image menu and you can go down here to Adjustments and down to, and I'm using Gradient Map. You can see there's lots of other ones as well, but I'm going to go with Gradient Map all the way through, but you can combine them. So Gradient Map, and this is a destructive effect. So once you've applied it, that's that. You can undo. You can use the history panel to go back, but this is a destructive effect and you can use any of these gradients, whole range of gradients available, just select them and you can see the result of that. And once you're happy with it, click OK. Well, you can undo. You can also, and you can do that via Edit menu and Undo Gradient Map. So just select that. But you can also fade it. So you can go to Fade Gradient Map. So Fade Gradient Map, and you can select here opacity. Just set it down to 0. Basically, it's an undo. Back to the original image. You can also put it to 100% or 50%. So you can see you can get a variety of different colour effects using that. Also, you can go here and you can use darken, blending modes, and you can see darker colour, lighter colour, and so on. You can create a variety of different colour effects just using that. Cancel. But if you want to, edit, undo gradient map, and you can apply it multiple times. So if you want to, you can always go to Image, Adjustments, again, Gradient Map. So go down there, and you can see Gradient Map, select a different gradient map, and you can apply other ones on top of it. So you can create 3, 4, 10 different colour effects on top. Maybe select a different one, and so on. Combine them with filter effects as well, blurs, etc. Let's just undo. So we're back to the original image. That's a destructive effect. You can only undo on that one. The 2 other ones are non-destructive effects. So you can modify them, remove them without upsetting the original image. In this case, go to Layer and New Adjustment Layer. And again, Gradient Map. So you can select Gradient Map. And this time it will ask you for a name. Gives you also a colour, options, etc. You can also select the blending mode for it here as well. I'm just going to keep it normal, but you can change it. So Gradient Map, click OK, and you've got this Properties panel. That's again Window, Layers and History, Properties. All the panels can be found there. And again, you can select over here all the same things as before. And you can run through them, decide, you know what, that one looks great. I'm going to go with that one. And you've got options here, you can delete it, etc. You've also got over here in the Layers panel, you'll notice it's above that original image. Anything that's below is modified, potentially. So everything there, but also you can modify it as well, because you'll notice, as quite a lot of layers, they add this little mask at the side. So it's linked here, a little mask, and you can go to that mask and you can go, say, to the gradient tool or other tools, maybe brushes, and you can add a gradient and you can see what happens. It just changes that. And so you can modify the effect of that adjustment layer. The adjustment layer has no pixels. It's got no pixel information. It's not like a photo. It is purely the property that you can see there, which you can still modify at any time. You can change it. So it's ever changeable. So you can go back to here, change this again, just go to another one, Special Effects, select that, and you can see the result. You can also, if you wish, add other ones. You don't have to just keep that. You can go to Layer, and again, down to New Adjustment Layer, and you can go down to Gradient Map or any of the others. You can add them on, combine them. But I'm going to go with Gradient Map again. Again, you can see this time it says Gradient Map 2, creates a new layer name for it, and click OK. And you can see the effect applied to that. And you can see the result there. And you can tweak it, change it, maybe go for that one. And again, you've got a gradient map, you can select that, add another gradient to that, and you can see you can tweak the design, literally create millions of different designs. And the original image, if you deselect it there, it's still untouched. It's non-destructive, so you can still use it, but it's not associated with that layer. It just happens to be below. This doesn't matter. It doesn't know anything particularly about this layer below. It's just applying it to everything below. thing is, the next method, the third method, is the next one. So I'm just going to go for that one. Let's just delete these. Yeah, let's just go through them. This takes a few seconds just to quickly delete them all. And you're back still to the original image, untouched. The third method is you can make it a smart object. So you can go here and layer, and you can turn this into a smart object. So layer, smart object, convert to smart object. Now as a smart object, if you go and apply, say, a filter, and a filter effect will modify the pixels. It's going to modify the pixels. Again, it's non-destructive. So you can apply blurs. Let's just go for a Gaussian blur. And you can see the effect that it's blurred it, but it hasn't destroyed it. So if you want, you can see it back again. It's just purely associated only with that layer. So if you've got other layers, they will not be modified by that smart filter. So Gaussian blur, but what you can also do with that selected, instead of going to layer, you've got obviously new adjustment layer, you can do the same. So you can just go here, new adjustment layer, you can say gradient map. Click OK. But that's not associated. It's exactly the same it was in the previous case. It's just something that's below. Anything, smart objects below, or standard layers below, or images or shapes, anything below will potentially be modified by that effect, by this colour effect. And again, I can remove it or delete it like that. But you've got here layer. What you can then do is go to image menu, and it's exactly the same as like the filter. So filter, you can apply filters to a layer. You can apply filters to a smart object. But you can go to image and you can apply adjustments to smart object, and they become a smart adjustment. There isn't a name for that. It's just called an adjustment, but it's potentially a smart adjustment. If you're going to go with smart filters, smart adjustments, it isn't called that by Photoshop. So again, gradient map. You'll notice some are not available. I'm not certain why. I'm not certain why desaturate isn't available, but still it is not. So gradient map. Maybe it's the color mode. No, 8-bit, can't understand that. Anyway, so adjustments, that's what you need to do when you've got a smart object. Go and use adjustments if you want to associate it with that smart object only. That's the key thing. So image, and again, adjustments and gradient map. And you can see the effect applied there. And again, you can run through those and you can select one, something like that. So you've got that, click OK. So that effect associated there, you can see now you've got a gradient map, you've got the Gaussian blur. They're both basically the same, but one's a filter and one's considered internally as an adjustment. They are different. They're not the same. It's a colour effect. It's definitely not the same, but it's all under the same thing, smart filters. Personally, I think they should have created smart adjustments to layer them out in different groupings, but still they've gone from all under smart filters, which slightly confuses the issue, I think, personally. But you've got here gradient map, and you can see here, you've got the side here, this option, so you can double click and you can always then use blending modes. So you can blend, so you can turn around and say multiply, and you can see the result there. You can really radically change the color just simply by going through that overlay, just by changing it there. Click OK. So gradient maps change. Now unfortunately, you can't select it, so you can't actually see. And it would be nice if you could hover, or if it put bracket overlay. I don't know why they didn't do that. They haven't. Likewise, Gaussian blur, you can just go double click there, and you can go through the blending mode. So you can turn around and say, I want color dodge. So the result might not be what you want, but I'm just showing you can change the blending modes for that as well. So multiply. And you can see, click OK. And you can see the effect. So quite radical changes. Again, it would be nice if it put bracket, darken, etc. You've also got this layer. And that's the run through of all the methods. But you can, of course, if you want, again, go to layer, and you can add a new adjustment layer on top of that. So you can always add a gradient map on top of that one. Click OK, and you can see the effect there. Now, also what you can do, Of course, you can always select both. And you can go to Layer and Smart Objects and Convert to Smart Object. So you can convert the whole thing into a smart object, and you've got the effect, smart objects, adjustments, all connected. And then you can do exactly the same as before. You can now go to Image Menu, Adjustments, and again, Gradient Map. And you can add Gradient Map on top of that gradient map and the effect combined in that. Click OK. And again, you see here Smart Filters, even though it's a Smart Adjustment more than Smart Filter, which again, you can change blending mode. So that's a run through of a number of combinations of ways of using. And of course, I haven't even gone to the fact of showing different images within this as well to show you how you can move them around and change. There's a lot of complexity potentially for that, but 3 methods of using adjustments at the basic core level. Hope you found this of interest. Please put in the comments below if you've got any other questions about adjustments and way of combining them and using them with different images. Always great to hear from you. Thank you much.